What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Talking Sports with Manny, and this is your host, Manny. Let's get it. Ever wanted to make a podcast but never really knew how? Well, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. There's a creation tool that allows you to record right from your phone or computer, and as well as editing as well. Anchor will distribute your podcast to places such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also monetize from your podcast. You can download the Anchor app for free at the App Store, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started.
What up, Bryan? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Hey, welcome to the show. Guys, I have my very good friend, Bryan Haskins. He goes by Bones. We go way back from the Austin P days. Very good friend of mine. He's actually related to Dwayne Haskins. Now, Bryan, your dad and Dwayne's dad are cousins, right?
Yes, they're first cousins.
Awesome, man. So, man, glad to have you on the show. I know we've been talking a little bit in the past about, HBCUs and, what it would take to get a top athlete to come to one of these HBCUs. So I'll let you kick it off.
Man, with everything going on in the world right now, I've definitely been thinking a lot more about, our athletes and how we, our skill set, our makeup, and everything that comes with it. You look at all the sports and you see it. Hey, I had a phone call that came in.
Oh, no problem, man. It happens, man. It happens.
Does it mess with the recording?
It does, but it's okay. I mean, yeah,
all right.
Keep going.
So, yeah, man. I mean, when you think about our athletes, in basketball and football, it's especially basketball and football. You see that. It's predominantly, African Americans that are in those leagues and that actually take over those leagues. So if you look at, the top athletes, coming out of high school in those various sports, you see that, over the past several years that it's been African Americans that are leading those types of sports, in regards to recruiting. And I had seen that last year, looking at Kayvon Thibodeau, who wound up going to Oregon. He was the number one recruit, and he actually considered and took an unofficial visit to Florida A&M. Now, that really attracted, my attention, because here you go, you got a number one recruit, a defensive player, and was actually taking an unofficial visit to Florida A&M. Why? Because if you see what the impact it would happen on these HBCU schools and how these top athletes will go there, it will attract media, it will attract well-known celebrities to start investing in them, and in turn it will also attract athletes, Black, African American athletes, to start going to those institutions as well. So your angle is saying, okay, really, African Americans going to HBCUs, not necessarily like everybody, just specifically African Americans. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
okay, so let me ask you this: what will bring an African American to a HBCU? Now, I know I put this question up on Facebook, and people were saying, money and exposure. And I get that your angle is, if they come, the money follows, and the TV deals follow, and all these different things follow. But who is really willing to sacrifice? See, the angle that I'm coming from is, I believe that people will start coming, but it also depends on the program. Example, Vanderbilt. We both live in Nashville. Vanderbilt has been terrible in basketball the last few years, right?
Correct.
Now, Vanderbilt started picking up more recruits, like Kenyon Martin's son and Scottie Pippen's son. They both committed to Vanderbilt, but I also think that was because of Jerry Stackhouse being the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, as much as players want to come, they want to know who they're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That they're going to be exposed. You know, there are some HBCUs that are more popular than others. Like, I personally would rather go to FAMU than come to Nashville and go to TSU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least in FAMU, you know, somebody was telling me that it's close to Florida State. I'm not sure. But I'm taking Florida over Nashville. You know, I'm taking the FAMU/Florida State parties than the TSU parties, even though the TSU parties are legendary. They are legendary. But, you know, it's all things into consideration.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? You know, guys that like the parties, the women gonna come regardless. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the big man on campus regardless of where you go. But what is it really gonna take to get these programs?
Well, I mean, now that you said that, I mean,
it's a alumni of TSU.
That, you know, and I put the same post up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's say if you do take a Nick Saban, you know what I'm saying, and he goes to TSU. I mean, you're definitely going to get a flock of, you know what I'm saying, athletes, you know what I'm saying, top tier athletes that are going to want to go in there. But when it comes to HBCUs, and we know that the statistics when it comes to African Americans getting head coaching positions in the NFL as GMs and such, it's going to take a Jerry, you know, Stackhouse. It's going to take a, you know, a Lovie Smith, you know, something like that, to be able to go to these HBCUs and be able to draw these top tier, you know what I'm saying, athletes to come to them. Because when you get these athletes, they already come with a fan base, you know, with social media and everything like that. They got thousands, if not millions of followers, you know what I'm saying, that's already, you know, supporting them and everything like that. So once you bring that fan base, you know what I'm saying, to whatever school they go to, then you're going to attract the collegiate, you know what I'm saying, fan base, as well as the NFL and pro, you know what I'm saying, type of fan base. Because now they want to see, okay, why is this kid going to this HBCU school? You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me that you're going to have these top, you know what I'm saying, athletes, and they go to these HBCUs, even though they don't have the exposure right now as far as TV rights, being able to, you know, be aired on TV right now. They're going to follow them. They're going to follow them. They're going to want to know how they're doing. And once they start doing that, then you're going to start seeing, okay, well, yeah, they're getting one or two games, you know what I'm saying, here and there. But see, like FAMU, and, you know, like Arkansas Pine Bluff, you know, stuff like that, they actually play Florida State. You know what I'm saying? They play these you know what I'm saying, these big colleges, these FBS colleges, you know what I'm saying, like that. So they're gaining, you know what I'm saying, a paycheck, you know what I'm saying, everything like that. I think it does start with the coach, you know what I'm saying, but it is going to take somebody making a sacrifice like Thibodeau, you know what I'm saying, who was actually considering going there, to actually make that decision and go there.
Nice. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Now, you remember Cam Newton in Florida. I don't know if you remember him in Florida. So he messed up with what he did and everything, and he had a chance to come to TSU. I think at the time, his brother might have been at TSU, or, his brother, Cecil Newton, was at TSU. So he could have, you know, he almost came to TSU to come and play with his brother, but, you know, Auburn called, and, you know, he went out there and visited. So, you know, it's that thing again where that they didn't have the talent here or the exposure to getting him to where he needed to be. So then he goes to Auburn. I believe they win the championship, right? And then he goes number 1 overall to the Carolina Panthers. So there has been situations where top athletes or top transfers could have come to different HBCUs, but then chose the latter. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, he came out here. I don't know what his recruiting process was. I don't know if he was a 4 or 5-star All-American in high school. I don't know. But what I do know was that he was a super athlete. You know what I'm saying? We used to hoop in Keene Hall at TSU, and the guy was just so athletic, man. He can run, he can catch, he can play football. And at the time, I knew he played football, but I never really went to any of the games. So I'm at home, I'm chilling, I'm watching the NFL draft. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie going number 16 to the Arizona Cardinals. Like, what? I'm like, I hooped with that guy. You know what I'm saying? I know this dude. So, then now I go back and I dig into the stats. And I'm seeing that, while he was in college at TSU, he was shutting down everybody. You know what I'm saying? And even though he was at a smaller school and didn't play top competition, he did what he was supposed to do. Being a premier athlete, he shut down everybody in the lower competition, right? Then he also got to go to the Senior Bowl and really show what he can do. And when he went out there to the Senior Bowl, he was out there balling with the best of them. You see all these guys from big schools and all this stuff, then you see a TSU on the helmet. So, with that being said, yes, people can still come to the OVC and still have success. People can still, come out here, ball out. Because if you're coming to a small school with less competition, you're supposed to come out here and be Deion Sanders. You're supposed to come out here and be Darrelle Reeves if you're a corner. If you're a quarterback, you need to come out here, throw for 5,000 yards, dominate, 50 touchdowns. It can be done. But the thing is, who is that athlete that's willing to take that first step? Because once the first athlete does that, then it creates a domino effect. Then guess what? Everybody wants to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think we're already seeing that.
So with that being said, somebody got to take that first step.
And I think we're already seeing it. I don't remember what the kid's name is, but he already decided that he's going to go to an HBCU school, and he's one of the top basketball athletes that's going to be coming out. He said that his mother or his father or both actually played at HBCU schools or even attended them. So now that we see someone that already saying that, hey, I'm going to commit here. I believe 1 or 2 other people have already said, hey, we're going to commit as well. Now, I don't know if it's to the same school, but they're going to go to these HBCU schools. And, the thing about it is, man, is that, like what you said, it's going to be a domino effect, and it's going to change the landscape of how athletes are now going to be recruited. It's going to change it, I think that, you and I both know Austin Peay, man, when we went there, the campus, man, was, it was horrible. It was horrible. They were in the process of building up and everything like that. But it took for them to play top tier competition, like Wisconsin and Georgia and, Virginia Tech, for them to get money, and actually invest into their programs. Now, as a result of that, you get these athletes who are recruited to play at these big schools to actually be able to play against a big school, and get that experience. So then you sit up there and these athletes now tell their buddies, hey man, we get to play Georgia, we get to play Virginia Tech, we get to play these schools, everything like that. And what that does, it attracts more people who don't really get that exposure and aren't top 300 athletes. You get those people now that say, hey man, I can still actually play some top tier competition, and all that. And what that's going to happen is now you're going to see these campuses start to develop. And what recruiters love is they love, they love scenery. And what I mean by that is they look at the weight room, they look at the the stadiums, they look at things that they know they're going to be involved in on a day-to-day basis, and that's what also attracts them and wants them to commit to these certain schools. To be able to have access, man, to arcades and different kind of billiard rooms, everything like that. Austin Peay now has an attractive campus to where now they can start drawing better recruits and better players. And as you can see, they actually went to the playoffs this past year. You know what I'm saying? Everything like that. So now if you look at that and you start translating that to the HBCU aspect, man, they can start making some noise. You know, they can really start making some noise.
Right. Now, I'm going to speak for TSU, the other school that I went to. Now, their stadium is not attractive at all, as of right now. But the beauty of the stadium is that you can walk from your dorm to the stadium, and it's not, it's not far. When I was at Austin Peay, that walk from my dorm to the stadium was a nice little walk. Still wasn't bad because it's the whole college experience. You know what I'm saying? I remember going to the games at Austin Peay. I go watch RJ, David, and after that, we always went to either Austin's or Johnny's to eat. So it was like something that we did every Saturday that there was a game on campus.
Right.
It was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at TSU, when I got there, I kind of just lost my love for going to games. I think in my whole time being at TSU, I went to maybe 3 games, 2 homecomings and 1 other random, like a John Merritt Classic. For the simple fact was, I had to drive to the Titan Stadium to go to a football game. That wasn't fun for me. Why should I have to get in my car, drive to the Titan Stadium for a game? I know that we had a bigger venue, bigger crowd, bigger festivities and all that, but the beauty of being on a college campus and going to a college is to go to games in your, vicinity. So I felt that had the games been at the TSU campus, I probably would have went to more games. I probably would have had more fun. You know what I'm saying? But for the simple fact that it wasn't that way, I kind of just lost that joy for going to football games. And then I just kind of put all my energy into the basketball games. Now, with the TSU basketball, what happened was, when my time out there, we had a couple guys that got to the NBA level, at least the G League level, right? But it was a process. You know what I'm saying? There was a guy named Larry Turner, I believe. He made it to the G League. He was a 6'11" center, very athletic, but didn't have like a lot of the post game or whatever that the NBA was looking for at that time. So he didn't pan out, but he was a cool dude, good talent. So he went overseas and played. Then we had another guy, Robert Covington.
Yeah.
You know him? Yeah. So when I was out of school, he was playing for TSU, and he was like a 6'9". He's really a 6'9" small forward / 2 guard in the NBA. But in college, he was playing more like a power forward role. So then, he went the G League route with the Rockets and eventually stuck. Now he's making about $10 to $15 million a year playing for the Houston Rockets now. So, there are success stories. There are guys who do make it to the league, but now we want to see the top recruits come in. You know what I'm saying? When I was there, we had a guy named Gerald Robinson. Gerald Robinson was very, very good. And then there was a guy from UT Martin. His name was, I think it was something Lester. No, Lester Hudson. Remember him?
No, I don't remember him.
So Lester Hudson was a 6'2" shooting guard. I mean, this dude can score. And at that time, him and Gerald Robinson at TSU were top 5 in scoring. So when they would square up, the scouts are there. You know what I'm saying? TV is there. One time ESPN was there. So, like you say, the talent does bring the scouts. The talent does bring the TV. So when Lester Hudson came to town, even though he's UT Martin, but the dude was NBA ready. Matter of fact, he got drafted to the NBA. Gerald Robinson left TSU because he wasn't getting the exposure. He wasn't getting the play and the accolades to get him to the next level. Now, Gerald Robinson was a shorter guard. I think he was like 6 foot, maybe 6'1", and not as strong as Lester. So I say this to say that, if a program is built right, let's say that the program was built, right, to where top athletes are coming, even if you're not a 5-star, even 4 stars and even 3 stars, or even guys that can't get into like the Dukes and all these other schools, if they're coming to the black schools and everything, That's also going to boost the program, you know. Then you start playing a few people. You know what I'm saying? It starts with playing like a Wisconsin or, you know, by the time you get to Duke, it takes steps, right? But at least you play guys that are close, like a Kentucky. Kentucky, they don't mind coming down to Nashville to play, but it has to be set up for Kentucky to come down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It has to be set up for all these neighboring states that have colleges to come out because they look at travel too. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see a lot of like a school like UCLA coming down to Nashville. Those kind of matches don't happen. But if you can get Georgia, you know, some of these SEC schools to just bring in some of these smaller schools, you know, it's going to help to build the whole thing. You look at Vanderbilt football. Vanderbilt football sucks. I'm sorry. To all the Nashvillians that's going to be listening to this podcast, I am sorry. But guess what? They play in the SEC. They have so when you pay these legends, guess what? The Jay Cutlers and there's a guy that came out the draft from Vanderbilt, running back. Forgot his name. Keyshawn Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? These people are going to come and play for Vanderbilt not only because of the coaching or that Nashville is such a great city and there's great nightlife in Nashville, or that, you know, you're going to hit the little country music square dance or whatever. People come to Vanderbilt because it's in the SEC, right? Because the SEC has that reputation. You play in the SEC, then guess what? You go to the next level for the most part, you know, because you're playing because of who you're playing. But if these HBCUs start to build this program, then guess what happens? It benefits everybody. So the HBCUs that are in the OVC, which I just know TSU for now. I don't know all the HBCUs that are in the OVC, but let's say TSU starts getting all these top recruits and top athletes, right? Guess what happens to Austin Peay? Then Austin Peay won that.
Right.
Well, everybody. You know, some decent athletes, especially in basketball, right? But look at what he single-handedly didn't really have a lot of like 4-star, 5-star guys that he was playing with, and he took that team, won that, took that team to the tournament and beat Marquette in the first round. And I believe they probably lost in the second round. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it can be done. And because he was in a smaller school, smaller conference and all of that, guess what? He goes pick number 2 in the draft. So we go back to what we're saying. If the athletes come, if they dominate, they're going to be like, I mean, they can go as far as they want to go. Anybody can come. Anybody can have success, dominate in a smaller conference, and
it's definitely possible.
Go high in the draft.
I mean,
it's not typical.
If you look at it,
but it's
look
possible.
at the Jerry Rices, you know,
and
what
it
I'm
just
saying?
takes one.
McNair, you know, what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill, you know, what I'm saying? Everything like that, man. All of them came from, you know, what I'm saying, lower, you know, what I'm saying, tier, you know, schools, you know, everything like that. But if you just think, you get all these athletes, man, that go to FAMU, and then they go ahead and they play Florida State at Florida State, and they beat Florida State. What's going to happen, man? I mean, you are really talking about shaking up the landscape. I mean, we've seen what Appalachian State was able to do when they went to the Big House and beat Michigan. You know, these type of things are possible. You know what I'm saying? Once these athletes start saying, "Hey, man, I want to make a difference. I want to go ahead, man. I want to shake the landscape. Let's try and make these moves." You know what I'm saying? And then it's also part about, man, just supporting. You know what I'm saying? You want to support these HBCUs, man. HBCUs, man, they don't get enough credit. You know what I'm saying? They don't even get a lot of support, especially from the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? For various reasons. You know what I'm saying? Everything. But I think that this kind of move And these kind of decision makings is really going to help the HBCUs, you know what I'm saying, with the funding, being able to support and be able to, you know what I'm saying, produce like how they really want to,
Right.
With and be able to compete, you know what I'm saying, in all areas, you know what I'm saying, like the Alabamas, the Florida States, and Michigans.
Right. Now, B, as we close, I have one more question for you. What can we, as a people, do to help these HBCUs
as
start
fans,
making that change?
We gotta
like, what can we do?
I think we gotta. We definitely gotta just like how, you know, you're a Redskins fan, Giants fans, Rutgers, Florida State fans, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, we gotta start supporting them. What I mean by that is, man, we gotta go out there and we gotta sell it. We gotta sell the programs. We gotta sell, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, you can get a degree because you're a student athlete first. And you're a student first, you know what I'm saying, before you that. So you can sell to them to say, hey, man, you can get just as good, if not better, a degree in going to FAMU, TSU, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, you know what I'm saying, everything like that, just like Alabama, Clemson, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to sell it. I think that's what we have to do, you know what I'm saying, as fans. We have to be able to sell it and say, hey, look, man, you can get the same education. You can get the, you know what I'm saying, the same experience of playing collegiate level, you know what I'm saying. Now it's all about making a difference as you make that move to go ahead and go to these HBCUs, and I think that's what's really gonna, you know what I'm saying, get them the spotlight that they need.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Hey, B, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your thoughts, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was
yes,
fun.
Sir.
Definitely got to bring you on in the future for more topics.
You too, bro.
Thank you, brother.
So guys, thank you so much for tuning in into another episode. I appreciate the love that you guys are giving me out there on all the social media platforms. Be sure to share this podcast with one other person. Please leave me a review on the Apple Podcasts or whatever platform that you do use. Subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter at TS with Manny, Instagram, TS with Manny, on Facebook, Talking Sports with Manny. Thank you guys so much. And if you guys have any comments, be sure to hashtag TSWM, Talking Sports with Manny 2020. Thank you guys so much. Love y'all. Y'all be safe out there. There's a lot going on. Just please be safe out there. Love you guys.